In this part, I want to go over a few of the advanced features in AutoHARP. Specifically, I want to show you how you can add a race and how you can add a profession. The same process can be used for adding talents and cultures and anything else that you would like to add to the database that's addable, spells and things like that. Or you can make specific changes to races if you want to customize or tweak them. To do this, we're going to have to go into the directory that we installed AutoHARP. And I'm going to have to explain to you how this database directory is set up so that you can get an idea of where you're going to be able to find things, where you're going to be able to find your information. The first thing I do want to do is give you a fair warning that all of the files that you will find in here for database work is all in XML. If you don't know what XML is, I suggest looking it up, learning how to write in XML. If you don't understand XML, all of this is going to be over your head. It's a very easy markup language. It's a lot like HTML, in fact, but it has a very different function. The database, imagine this database as a room. And we've got two filing cabinets, one called ARP Fantasy and one called HARP Sci-Fi. And within these filing cabinets, we're going to have books. And the one book is called HARP Fantasy. And imagine that book being like a shelf in your filing cabinet. And the first shelf is going to be this base information. And you'll notice with this base information, we've got combat, cultures, defenses, encounters, herbs, poisons, and so on. If I open up one of the other shelves, I get the same kind of structure: combat, cultures, defenses, herbs and poisons, and other things. This base information here is going to contain some base values. For example, if I open up races, you'll see that I also have a BMR table with some values in here. But primarily what you're going to be looking at is the books node, which contains the book HARP Fantasy. And that HARP Fantasy has a file in there called Races from Core Rules. And the reason why I have this listed is because I need to tell the program where to go find the races. If I had multiple books, it would go through each book and grab all of the races from that book. Now that's something worth remembering, as I will explain a second way of doing customization to the database. So now we need to go into the HARP Fantasy book, come down here to Races from Core Rules. We're going to edit with Notepad, and here you'll see we have races. It starts off with the race node and then all of the nodes that are inside: name, description, appearance, and these races show up under that race drop-down box on the new character wizard. Now to add a race, there are two ways to do this, as I mentioned before. The first way is an easier way to understand, but it's not the most convenient. The second way is a lot more convenient, and I'll describe why. Easy way, you're going to want to highlight the entire race node. So we highlighted it. I'm going to copy that node, and I'm going to paste that node. And I've just created a new race. It's pretty much that easy. But now I need to change this information, or I'm going to have duplicates. So I'm going to say it's an orc. Not quite too sure what description I'm going to give it, so we'll just say he's ugly. Appearance-wise, I'm not too sure. We can change this to orc. Oops. And we can change this as well to orc. His endurance, and then we can start changing very specific values like endurance. Maybe he doesn't have any power points. His base height's just a little bit better than that. For the female, it's don't want to watch out for, again, if watch out for your formatting on your XML. You can change his resistance bonuses. Again, the stat modifiers. I wouldn't change the name of the stat because obviously that's linked in with another database. But the bonuses you can certainly change. Maybe he's stronger, not so much a constitution, maybe a bit better with the agility. You can give him different abilities. For example, maybe instead of stone sense, he's got night vision. And then you finish. The same thing can be done for professions, and I've already got professions from Core Rules opened, where I can take an entire profession, like the harp or the fighter, it's right here, and I can highlight it, copy it, and create a whole new profession. And this profession I can call swashbuckling. Come down here and call it swashbuckling. Spell it right. I don't have much of a description. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. So I'm just going to highlight the description and delete it. I can choose different favorite categories. His athletic and this is all probably correct. But maybe for combat he's going to be a little bit worse. For wear, I'll give him 6. Maybe his general, I'll give him 4. And if I wanted to add a category, I can certainly come down here and add a new category. All I did was I highlighted a category and I copy and pasted it. And then I can say, well, maybe his influence is, oops, I got to make sure that I spell influence correctly so that it matches the skills in the other database. And I'll say that he's got 4 ranks in that. Again, it's good to know XML and how it's formatted, and it'll help you understand how copying this category node and pasting it works and everything like that. Maybe his key stats aren't this much. Maybe he doesn't have a very good constitution, so I'll eliminate that one. And maybe his strength isn't so good either. Maybe his professional abilities are the same, and his bonuses and his new level bonuses. Maybe he doesn't have this kind of talent. Maybe he doesn't have any shield training. Maybe he does have lightning reflexes. Maybe he's not much of a speed loader. And then I will save. And then I'll show you how we made those changes. So I'll go into AutoHARP. Go into Harp Fantasy. And I should have an orc, which I will select. I'll make him a nomad. Make him a female. Here's my night vision. My strength is 4, 2, and 1. And then it's not very common to find a swashbuckling orc, but there's swashbuckling. Which nothing came up. Well, obviously means I must have made a mistake somewhere along the line. Oh, that's right, there's no description. I took that all out anyway. So, and that's how you would basically add your character sheets. Obviously, I need to go back and fix the problems that I made. But again, that also tells you that having a knowledge of XML will greatly help you to prevent mistakes such as that from ever happening. There is an easier way, or not an easier way, but a more convenient way to add information to a database like this, and I'm going to show that to you in the next part.